fall through plenty, her and all her guineas.
Just wanted a little bit
We at
of
the top
music, a
floor
little
right there
vibe
all
where we
doing
got
Henny.
started in the
Yeah.
space today.
Oh no, I can't
Yeah,
fuck with
so
y'all.
welcome.
Yeah, when I'm with my squad, I cannot
Welcome,
do no
welcome,
wrong.
welcome.
Yeah, saucepan in the city, don't get
We'll kill the
misinformed.
music and get
Yeah.
right into it.
Oh,
So
she's here
today's
already.
masterclass, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, but I gotta go already.
Oh, you do? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. All
Okay,
right, bye.
bye.
All right, so we'll get started. So welcome to, one sec, how to build an impact empire with one eye. This is today's masterclass, and I just want to make sure that everybody is in the right space and the right call, and just let me know if this resonates with you. If you are a visionary and you have obviously a story, I know many of you do, and you're in my world and other spaces, and we've connected a lot before, but you have this like burning desire to like create obviously a really big impact, and you have this feeling so deep that you like know that there's something more for you and for your impact and what you can create in the world and the business that you can create. So if that sounds like you, then you're in the right room. I just want to make sure everyone's in the right space. All right. We're here. Good. So we're going to go deep today into three really key parts to building an impact empire with your story. And so that's vision, brand, and leadership. You're going to get a lot today, and we're going to cover a lot. And I'm hoping that this, stays in that hour mark. We might go over an hour a little bit, but I'll try to really keep it in the hour. So, just so you know, there's just like so much to cover, and there's so much I want to give you all within these subjects, which are obviously way more deep than just an hour call on each of these, but you'll get a lot just from what we've got today. So go ahead and put another yes in the chat if you're already feeling it and you are ready. I love engagement in the chat. So anytime you want to pop a yes or something in the chat or a question, I'll kind of pop in and out on the chat. But from my own experience, like I'm being honest and transparent all the way through this whole masterclass, I learned so much more and absorb so much more information when I'm like at the computer, my camera's on, I'm really, really engaged, I'm paying attention, I'm really listening and being active in the group, in the Zoom room. I just feel like I always retain so much more and learn so much more. So if you're in a space where you can really be off cam or on camera and engage in the chat, it'd be so amazing. And if you already do master classes, or this is something that you want to offer inside your impact as a great way to bring people together, to teach on the things that you're amazing at teaching on, and then sell things on the back end, like you'll want to watch what I do and replicate different parts of this and really make it your own, to make your own master classes. And so that's what I've really done over the years too. It's like all the master classes that I've watched, I've just absorbed, taken pieces, and like created my own type of master class. So here we go. I know many of you already know me, but I just want to take a moment to reintroduce myself. And for those that don't know me, my name is Shelby, and I did lose my eye in a snowboarding injury a little over 3 years ago at this point. And, right after I found out that my eye was going to be removed and I was getting a prosthetic eye, I knew I needed to talk to someone that lived with one eye. So, of course, I went to social media like we would do with pretty much anything. That's what I do with anything. And immediately I found all these influencers and social media content creators that were sharing their story. And it was super, super amazing to see them share their story. And I felt this sigh of relief because I was like, okay, like I'm not alone. There's so many people out there, like young people living life with one eye. Like this is amazing. But I felt like something was missing still. Like I felt like there wasn't a community. I couldn't find like an actual community. I couldn't find people that I could talk to. And so I said to myself, like, why don't I create that? You know? And so I first shared my story and was like, here's my story. Hey, I'm looking for people that have one eye that I can connect with. And many of you have been here since the beginning. And I've connected and met with so many of you. And like the power of social media and like that one post has completely transformed my life. And I know that might sound dramatic, and it's not even social media per se. It's like I've changed my own life, but I had no idea at the beginning that I could make a post, build a community, bring this community together, create an actual business, and from this actual business, you know, keep evolving and growing and growing. And so it's like there's just like no cap to it. It's like I can evolve, I can create new spaces, I can evolve my impact, which is why we're sitting here today. And it's just like that wasn't my intention going in. I had no idea that people even were mentors or coaches or led spaces or had virtual conferences. I didn't know anything about master classes. I didn't know anything about in-person events or memberships or anything of the things that I've done over the last few years within Iheesive. Like I had no idea that people like did that and that that was like a business model and that you could make like money from it and like never have to work a 9 to 5 again. And I was like, oh wait, I love this work. I love doing this. Like sign me up for this. And so put a yes in the chat if that's like what you're thinking and what you want to do with your impact. And to, you know, like I said, I wasn't really anticipating this. I had no idea that this is like a way to live and to create things. And it wasn't until it started happening that I actually was like, wow, this is something, you know, and it was like this feeling inside of me at the very beginning that I had to like share my story and go out there and create, you know, a little community. Just meeting one person is the same feeling that I have today. That's like, there is more, you know, like there's such a bigger impact you can create. There's a bigger impact you can help other people create and like other spaces that you can create that have never existed before. And I think if you're on this call, you like have that feeling inside of you. It's like, I can create something that's never existed before. And like what's really happening there, it's like we're not even creating spaces per se that have never existed before because like of course virtual conferences, memberships, podcasts, the books that we like, everything that we do technically have like existed, but we create things within ourselves that never have existed. Like I'm expanding in ways that I never could have imagined. And we get to do it with our own unique story and put our own unique spin on it, which then creates something that's never existed. You know, and there's like no competition because we're all so different and unique in the way we use our stories and the things that we can like there's I said this earlier, there's no cap to what you can do and how you can create your impact. And so that's really been my experience, my journey, and is the wisdom that I've gained from creating different spaces, from hosting conferences, memberships, multiple memberships, selling merch, about to put another product on the market, to being a guest on a lot of people's podcasts. Like that feeling inside, I'm like, this is invaluable knowledge that I need to keep passing on. Like there's such a strong, strong feeling. Like I said, that deep heart-led, soul-crushing feeling that it's like there is more to that. And I just have to follow that until the end. And now the wisdom that I have from starting Iheesive, it's like, okay, with this new angle, it's like refinement of the vision, of the brand, of my messaging, my marketing, my selling, my content, you know, so all of that as well too. So kind of what I wanted to paint for you, a little picture of like obviously where I started, my story, who I am, where I'm going, the bigger vision, and helping people use their stories to create their own impacts, like like painting that vision, casting that vision, and it's really, really big. And so I want you to be able to, because this call is for you, all of you visionaries, um, cast your own vision. So maybe take just a moment right now, if you don't mind, to in the chat write maybe a little bio about yourself and like who you help, or like what you currently do. So just what you currently are doing inside your impact. Like, are you a mentor? Do you have a podcast? Are you a social media content creator? Do you have a book? Do you host conferences? Do you do in-person events or online events? So you can just drop that in the chat and just share currently what you're doing. Okay. And as you're kind of just sharing those, I want you to start to envision like where you want to take your impact. And I really want you to just envision the next like 4 months or maybe 2025 if you want to cast it a little bit bigger, but like that bigger vision of like where you really, really want to take your impact. And if you know me, like I'm delusional in the best way. So there can't ever be anything that's like too big or too out there or too crazy or delusional. Like really let yourself like go there and let yourself create the biggest vision for your iStory and the impact that you want to create. So you can drop that in the chat right now, your bigger vision. So it's like, do you want to just take what you're doing and scale it? Do you want to add new things in? Do you want to play with some different things? Are you really wanting to do more one-on-one work and be a mentor? Do you want to scale your podcast? Do you want to launch in-person events? Do you want to host a world-class conference with thousands of people? Do you want to reach your social media following to the millions? Do you want to, have 1 million downloads on your podcast or people buying your book? So let yourself go there. Like just envision, we're just going to take a few moments to do this. I don't want to take too much time on this part today. And you don't have to be crystal clear either. And here's, what's going to happen and where I lead really well in this space. It's like we can have those huge visions and hold the standard of that huge vision. And we're going to have the long-term mindset and do all of the work to get there. And along the way, what we're not going to do though, is start attaching our worth or our validation to those external things. So to the money, to the number of followers, to the number of downloads, to the number of sales. So it's like, I desire to bring in a group of like one-eyed impact makers, and we're co-creating these amazing impacts together. And at the same time, like becoming the best versions of ourselves. Like you're becoming the best version of yourself. And that's like not seeking that validation from social media, from followers, from views, from likes, from money, and your self-worth isn't dependent on that. So this is like the key here when we're like casting that big vision. It's not because of the money and all of the external things. Like those things are absolutely possible, and we get those things, and those things, the money, the success, the wealth, the numbers, the metrics are a byproduct of who we are being. So as we build and grow to that big vision, which is so possible, like it's inevitable that you get there, you're going to do it in this like grounded, like self-embodied, really aligned self, and becoming the greatest version of yourself over and over and over again. So I just want you to take a minute to kind of anchor in where you're at now, kind of your big vision, let yourself play there. And since you guys came live on this call, I'm doing a special fun bonus I'll tell you about at the very end too. So from here, I want to start going into more of like the brand, because that's a huge component. So it's like, yeah, holding that standard of your vision the whole entire way, and then creating a brand, which essentially equals, for me, the way I see brand is like a community, like literally your community. It's your brand, it's your community, or I actually like to use the word movement a little bit more than community, because when I think about a community is like, cool, we're having fun, it's great, we're supporting one another. Like I have a community. When I think of a movement, it's like people are moving, they're taking action, they're showing up, they're growing together, they're expanding, they're doing the work and becoming their greatest selves, and in communities, it's, that's great. And we get to have that too, but it's like, this is a movement. And so when I really think about where Adhesive is going, it's going in this direction of like, this is a movement. and everyone inside of it is like moving. And so also with brand, it's like, I think we often immediately think like, oh, I need a logo. It needs to be aesthetics, and it's like way more than just like a logo and your aesthetics. And maybe you already understand that too, because brand, when we're thinking about it really equaling your community, it is your message, it's your story, and it's how people experience you. So your brand attracts and builds a community of people who resonate with your message, your products, and your services. So it doesn't have to do with anything, with curated, perfect, carousels, which obviously those are nice, but it's not like agonizing over fonts and colors. But we want obviously everything to be really clear and concise and on brand. But I'm going to paint a little bit different of a picture that maybe you're not thinking of right now when it comes to brand. On brand, also the way I see it is like sharing your story and the wisdom as your unique selling point. And then your vehicle, which is your services, your product, your podcast, your social media, like your book, that is how your community, your movement gets their transformation, is through whatever it is that you specifically do in your impact. So, which is amazing because we already have stories and we have wisdom, and then we package that up and sell it, and like people, and then we build a movement and that energy where they feel like they're at home, which I'm going to go into deeper right now. And that's where we create an impact empire with our story. Kind of see that? Okay. So I just want to I'm not a visual person. Visual things and aesthetics are not my forte. I'm not a social media, background person or anything like that too. So I've really just tried to be really intentional with my brand and creating. Every thought is like community, 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 community. Like, how can I build a freaking community? And I didn't even really know that that was like a number one thing when starting or having a business. It was just like more like I just wanted a community, and then I realized like, oh, it's like community is what you need if you're selling anything. So like it just like worked out really well. That's like was my first thought. And so, but now I'm getting even more intentional with the content that I'm creating. So maybe you're even in need of a rebrand or to get more clear on your brand. And so quality content, the easiest way to break this down is like it creates a feeling, it creates a world for someone. So when I look at like my social media pages, like how can I create a world for my people? So when they like come on there, they feel seen. They feel, for me, for adhesive, I want them to feel seen and strong. I want them to feel like anything's possible. I want them to feel magic. I want them to feel like they belong. So I'm really creating a world where people can feel a part of, and you're going to see more and more of this, on adhesive. And then also sharing different emotions of your brand. So like sometimes like funny things or quirky things. Sometimes I'm like, let's blow it up. Like, let's get down to business. Let's have fun. Let's build huge impacts. Let's do crazy, like delusional things. Sometimes I'm like, very like reflective and going inward and storytelling. And then other times it's like more serious and like, let's have a conversation, So it's like these different emotions throughout your brand. And you can do the same as well too. Because this is what creates different connections with different people. So a leader is just not like monotoned the whole time in one emotion. When you think about a speaker on stage, they're like, woo, we're talking about this and I'm taking you over here, and then they come down like, we're talking about this and this, it's like they take you on this like journey, this experience. Sorry, bad at that, but they really do take you on like an adventure. And so sometimes like I said, they're really hype, or then they're like, we're really serious. And so really allowing people to see the different facets of you, the light, the dark, the different angles of your story. And we talked a lot about this in the Claim Your Space online challenge. And then obviously different angles of your products, of your services, of your work. Like you'll never run out of content if you work with me, because I'm like, there's like so much to post, so much wisdom and knowledge in your experience in your product and services and your work, like to post. And when it's done right, it's not just like all one feeling. It's like a journey for people. It's like almost like coming to your Instagram feed. It's like they just want to consume all of your content. Like they're obsessed and want to read everything. It's like a magazine or like their favorite, like they're binging their favorite Netflix series. Like that's what I want to create. And when I make content for my audience rather than like obviously I share my results, I share my story, I share parts of my journey that are like, I guess, a little bit more for me. But when I really, really intentionally make my content for my audience, for my consumers, for my clients, then I'm giving them value that they want to read everything. So, and it's also, creating depth inside of the impact too. And this is like really how you create an impact empire. There's depth because different people resonate with different parts of your story. And there's like, you're moving and you're evolving and people move when you move. And I desire to take people like through these different experiences in my evolution, like I said. So it's like I share all of these different facets, and you're going to see so much more of this coming from adhesive as I create this like bigger world for all of us. And and definitely take the stuff that you're passionate about as well too in your content, dance, yoga, meditation, sports, and weave or embed that into your content. But here's like where it gets, here's a nuance, because you don't want to be posting all over the place, and you want everything to be really, really like narrow and very specific for the impact empire you are building. So when you're really, really intentional and you're like highly intentional, every piece is for that impact, that greater version, going towards that greater version. Like energy flows where intention goes. So we really want to be intentional here. And this is where it comes down to like discernment, because depending on your goals, it might look a little bit different for everybody. And that's totally fine too. It's like, as far as like trending dances and like if you're really trying to amp your following up, it's like, yeah, maybe you're posting 3 times a week and you're hitting way more of like the trending audios, the things that are trending on social media. And like, that's how you're going to build a bigger visibility and following. And it's like, for me, I don't care about that stuff. I could care less about that stuff because I just want to call in the people that have one eye and want to build an impact empire with their one eye. So I'm highly intentional with all of my content to just speak to those people and give a lot of value to them. And a really easy way to do this too is like you can create like content pillars. So you can have anywhere from 3 to 5 content pillars for your brand. So you could think like, okay, you can even ask yourself, like, what are your brand values? Like, where do you want to take it? And then from there, you're going to have 3 to 5 content pillars. So for mine, it's like community, strength, coming together, like that feeling, that emotion. So everything I post is going to be under those kinds of categories. Or now it's like I'm talking about like launching and selling and pivoting and increasing your impact and your visibility and sales. So it's going to be like, let's blow it up inside your impact, like kind of content. And then of course I talk about like resilience and like breaking all of your barriers. And this isn't just in business, but this is in life. When you think about living with one eye and fears and shame and doubts and navigating and just becoming the best versions of ourselves, whether we're starting an impact or not. And then a lot of reflecting, a lot of storytelling. Everybody loves storytelling. They love it. They love it. They love it. So, I just feel like when we look at our social medias, to kind of recap, it should just feel really intentional. And sometimes like ask myself, like, what is the point of me posting this? And I talked a lot about this in the Claim Your Space as well too. It's like, I'm not just posting to post. Every post has a purpose. It's like intentional for my dream person to get them one step closer to where they want to go. And like, just asking yourself, what kind of experience do you want people to have when they land on your page? And then this a little mindset shift that might be a little bit different than how you're currently viewing social media. It's like your work is like way bigger than Instagram. Like you create content, like because that's who you are and you have fun. And it's like, ooh, this is exciting. I want to share this with my community. I want to share this with my movement. It's so good, like so valuable. Like this is awesome. Like what I'm creating, I'm having fun and I'm being innovative and I'm trailblazing and it's creative. And it's like, that's what I do. It's like who you are. And one of the places you share that content is social media. So it's like you own social media. Social media doesn't own you. You own social media. And like that algorithm, like you are the algorithm. And so when you're in that energy and it's like, I get to make this amazing content, share my story, sell my products, sell my services, make money from my phone all over anywhere in the world, like sign me up for that. You get to literally like do this from your phone and travel all over and like take your clients like and telegram them on the way or set up a Zoom call anywhere or film content anywhere and share it with the world with your own wisdom, making it for them. And so that's what builds an impact empire. So it might be a little bit different. How are we feeling? Everyone's still hanging in there, feeling okay? Okay. So the third part that I want to go into this evening, we're good, is the leadership portion. So again, like I said, all three of these topics are so much bigger and deeper than like what I can cover in an hour. It's really like a program, essentially each of these on their own, but I want you to have enough to really feel like amped and like ready to go and like see your bigger vision. Look at your Instagram differently, start creating a world, start creating content for them, calling in the people you want in your impact empire, and just like knowing that you create that. It's like your world, you get to do what you want and you're creating freedom from all of like the external things, the metrics, the money, and it's like you're just on a mission to become your greatest self. You share that and it's like that's all I did. And it's a business, which is like still mind blowing to me if you ask me. But leadership, this is like the most important part because you can nail having that big vision. You can nail your social media content, but it's a leadership. And leadership's not just about leading other people. It's about leading yourself first. So it's a lot about leading yourself through every single doubt, like setbacks, insecurities. I always say this is like movement makers go first. So if you want to build something that has never been created before, you have to go first. You have to be the first one to go. And leadership is what has allowed me, myself, leadership to create this, to pivot when I knew it was time to pivot, to do everything I've ever wanted to do throughout my impact and just like say yes and go for it and create it. So I've been able to lead myself over and over and over again because of the confidence, the consistency, the conviction, the standard in my vision and my higher vision, and without external proof validating me or validating any parts of me or what I'm doing. Before the evidence of it working is even there. I say this all the time. It's like we lead by faith. That's actually what my mentor says. So I'm like stealing it, but I say it all the time. She's always says we lead by faith, not by way of evidence. And it's like that just like hits me every time. Like we lead by faith, not by way of evidence. And it works. It works every single time, but we have to be able to, that's where it's hard to really lead by faith without having the evidence yet. But when we started our things, we had no evidence and like full self-belief. And what happens, we lose that self-belief, we lose some self-leadership, some self-trust because those external things like started to happen. We get a bad comment, like someone hits us with the word DM, someone defaults on a payment, someone returns something, someone has an issue with something you're selling or posting. And then the things that, we thought were giving us all of that that self-leadership and that external validation, then kind of feel like they turn on us a bit and then we lose all of it. And that's like just a vicious cycle. And that's why we're not building impacts that way. And we're really, really building them from this like confident, consistent, convicted, grounded, like internal greatness place. Because then you'll be unstoppable in yourself, in your leadership, what you do, what you put out there, what you create, and you'll consistently rise to new levels. And rising to new levels is stepping into courage and more courage. Because that first bit of courage to get you to where you're at right now and what you've done right now is like amazing. And that's like one level of courage. But to get to that next level and that next level of vision where you want to go is a whole nother level of courage. And there's always another level, and there's always another level, and there's always another level. But it's fun. Like that's like what I was saying at the very beginning, where we become our greatest selves, because we're always leaning into new levels of courage. And in that space, we become unstoppable. We have undeniable self-trust, undeniable self-belief, undeniable self-love, of like confidence, of conviction. But like we only get there when we lead ourselves through courage again and again. So, and I really believe that if I'm not the one like rising and leading my community, then y'all would go find someone else. Like I believe that if I hadn't risen in my leadership and in my confidence, my conviction, and hosted this masterclass and did this pivot for you all to be here tonight, you would go learn this stuff from someone else. Like, right? This is something you're interested in. So of course, if I'm not the one teaching it, you're going to go find it and learn it from someone else. And that's just like the way the world works, whether we know it or not. It's like people are constantly looking for like those innovators. They're innovative. Oh my gosh, again. Skip that word. Looking for the leaders, the trailblazers, the people that innovate, that are like moving, because there's something about that like draws people, like, ooh, what are they doing? What are they up to? Like, oh my gosh, like if they can do it, I can do it. And it's like we're just always looking for that kind of influence and that leadership and that energy in our space, because that's what we do as humans, like between connection. It's like if we're not growing, we're dying, and we know that deep down. And so we go find people that are growing and we go grow with them. So what the secret to leadership, and again, like I said, I being completely transparent and honest with y'all here, but the thing that has worked for me 100% of the time, the only thing that I know to really work when it comes to leadership and learning and stepping into higher levels of leadership and that higher level of identity to lead, is being in spaces with people who lead. That's like all I know. That's how I've done it. Like I just keep getting into spaces with leaders, other women, other entrepreneurs, other impact makers, other mentors, other high achieving, successful people. I keep getting myself into more and more rooms, whether it be online or in person or with my mentor. And over again, I calibrate to a new level of leadership when I'm in that space with those people. Okay, so it's just like, this is just what I know to be true. The only way that I have found it to work. And every time I'm in those spaces, my thoughts are so much better and more clear. And like I said, I calibrate in the quality of my thoughts and ideas are more potent. So we're not even trying to create like quantity here ever. We're really creating quality thoughts, quality ideas, quality content, quality visions, quality leadership. And to do that, it's just like getting in spaces with people that operate that way, like removing all that gunk and fluff and like excess stuff out of our minds that hold us back or tell us that we can't. It's like, I don't know about you, but I do know, like, again, all honesty, if I didn't have my mentor the entire time, there's probably times I would have quit. there's been some really hard things like along my journey of doing this that haven't been easy, that have been really, really challenging. And there's been times that I'm like, what am I doing? Like, when that self-doubt hits and that wobble hits, it can almost feel like, what's the point? Like, is it worth it? Can I keep going? And my mentor keeps seeing things in me that I don't even see. And every time she like fights for my vision and I step into another level of leadership, the result like comes, the byproduct comes, like who I'm being like becomes greater. And so this is what I know to be true. And I just continue to step into rooms, like I said, online and in person. And I know a lot of you know that I'm going to Freedom Queen Live, which there's going to be like 400 women entrepreneurs at this event. Got postponed. So it'll be the end of November, but every speaker is a woman and they all run very like successful businesses. And most of them are mentors or coaches in the community. And so I know I've connected with a few of you about that already. So if that is something that you're like hyped for, I'm still taking any entrepreneurs with me. And so I think I know how transformative it will be. And so this is obviously not a Freedom Queen Live pitch, but I'm just putting into context like the way that I move and the way that I lead myself. And that's why I have the results that I have today. So I wish I could just see like, oh, I just sat behind the computer or the social media or scrolled, carousel posts and content and got this level of leadership and to be able to speak and to show up and to do these things and to get uncomfortable and to do them over again and to get uncomfortable and to do them over again. But it's like, I haven't done it that way. It's like, I've only done it by doing it alongside other amazing individuals that are doing amazing things. So again, to wrap it up, we've got our vision. I hope you feel that more now than ever and how big that is. And coming live, you're going to get a 3-day experience called the Cast Your Vision Telegram experience. We're going to go much, much deeper into your vision and getting that clear and like really, really seeing how you're going to get there, because that helps put everything in a perspective when you kind of like, okay, this is so out there. I think it's so far away from me, but it's like when we pull it closer to you, it's like more real than ever. And you know exactly like how you're going to actually get there. So Cast Your Vision 3-day Telegram experience, that'll happen next week. So we'll go deeper into that. And then we talked about brand again too, and just kind of creating this world for your community. You do that, you create an impact empire, you make content for them, you keep it like intentional and in those content pillars. This is something that we'll definitely go deeper on other calls, but we need to have a basics, the 101, and then leadership. Just like always leading yourself into higher and higher spaces with higher and higher proximity to people that are doing it, that are serious and that are moving and that are expanding and growing within themselves. And I have no fear for you or your impact ever, ever, ever. And can I take about 10 minutes to really go into next steps from here? Is everyone okay with that? If I take 10 minutes to go into next steps, just put a yes in the chat. Okay. Or you put a no if you don't want to hear next steps. Yes, you do. All right. So next steps from here is the Visionary Group Coaching Program. So this is where we'll go so much deeper into your specific impact and really what we talked about today, plus a lot more, because it's a 12-week group coaching program. It starts November 4th. And I want to go a little bit deeper so you can really see how this is going to help you and your impact. So call one, because you'll get in that Telegram experience next week. So you'll have 3 days to really, really get your vision. So call one will just be if you got any further questions on like clearing up your vision or casting that vision. But everybody, I think or if there was somebody that didn't get the Telegram experience, will kind of do more of that vision setting, getting really, really deep and really knowing the direction you're taking it and like your next steps over that 12 weeks so that you get there quicker and faster and have a lot more fun while getting there as we like transcend into 2025. So call 1 is going to be really getting that clarity and knowing exactly what you're going to be doing to get to your bigger vision and what that looks like. And then, call 2 through 12, the next 11 calls, we'll have weekly live calls, and every week we'll be talking about different topics as far as content, messaging, marketing, promoting, selling, pivoting if you're in the middle of a pivot, launching if you're launching something new or different, scaling what you currently have if you are wanting to keep what you have and go bigger. And then we'll do hot seat coaching as well throughout the 12 weeks too. So hot seat coaching will just be a call where we do one-on-one, within the whole group. And it's called Impact Power. And so it's like, I will put you back in your power whenever you're wobbling, you notice that you are letting your validation and your worth get tied up into things outside of you. Anytime that you're in that self-doubt, or you're just feeling insecure, or you're not sure your next move or how to blow it up, we'll do that each and every other week so that you're like blowing it up over and over and staying in your power and continuously leading yourself bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over the next 4 months. Okay, so does everyone feel pretty clear about like what that looks like and how that will be really, really helpful for you and your impact and where you're at and where you want to take it? Does anyone have any questions right off the top of your head? And I really want to make sure that this space feels, good for everyone coming into it. And so if you want to message me later, if you don't want to do it here on this call, that's totally fine. Send me an email or a DM and just say like, hey, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to go. Is this a good space? Because, obviously I want to make sure that everyone in that space is getting exactly what is going to be ideal for them and where they're going. And so we can definitely go deeper into what that looks like for you and if it's even a good fit or not. And I'll let you know. So message me after. And here's one more thing though, before we really wrap up. So if you sign up for the Visionary Group Coaching Program before Friday, this Friday, you'll get 4 one-on-one coaching calls with me. Okay, but you have to sign up before Friday and you'll get the 4 coaching calls with me, which is super exciting because like not only will you have the whole 12 weeks, but we'll go 4 different calls, like really in depth on your specific impact and like get into the nuances of your messaging, your marketing, your launching, what you're selling, what you're scaling. So yeah, the 4 calls are going to be amazing and you can use them however you want. So you get in tonight, then we could start coaching immediately. If you get in before Friday, we can choose, the 4 days that you want to use your one-on-one calls at any point. And you can do the pay in full option or the payment plan. It doesn't matter. Either option, you'll get the 4 one-on-one coaching calls, and there's a VIP option in there as well too. So if you're interested in the VIP, I'll discuss that with you. For my special VIPers, you know who you are. And so, you're a VIP already. Everyone's a VIP, but those that just like know that they're like, I want to do VIP and I'm going to do VIP, like you'll know, or you'll reach out and say, I'm thinking about going all in. So once again, Team Adhesive is going to drop the Visionary group coaching program link in the chat. So you all will have access to it. You can grab it. It'll be in the follow-up email as well too. If you sign up right now, throw it in the chat right now too, and just be like, it will celebrate you. Like, I just signed up. I'm going to change the world. Let us know. And then, my DMs are open. Please reach out if you have any questions. And I really, really do appreciate everyone on tonight. And I just see these amazing, amazing big visions and impacts and the things that you can create with your story in the world from your phone is going to blow your mind. And I don't take this work lightly or anything like that. It's very important and it's transformational not just in the people you're working with, but in your own life. And so I take it very seriously, even though I do have a lot of fun and I love to make it a lot of fun. All right, I'll see you all hopefully inside the group coach or the visionary group coaching program or in another space in my world. Also into the Cast Your Vision Telegram channel. That will be next week. Okay, you'll get details on that too. All right, bye everybody.